So this is number 1 on the pretest, and it deals with subtracting decimals. Just like we did with the past unit, you have to pay attention to those negative signs. So it says negative 12 and 9700 minus negative 5,300. So the first thing that I look at is what are the negative signs telling me and what operation do I need to do? I know that if I'm subtracting a negative, it's the exact same thing as adding a positive. So I can go ahead and change that to one big adding sign. Then I look at the signs and say, those are different signs, so I'm going to subtract. So the first part of the problem is exactly what we did last unit in understanding which operation to do. Now that I know it's a subtraction problem, now I got to look at these decimals. Now, when I'm going to line up my subtraction problem, there's 2 important things I need to do. Whenever you add decimal numbers, you have to make sure that you line up the dot. The only problem is our second number doesn't have a decimal. Well, it actually does. It's just an invisible decimal. There's a decimal after every whole number. When I think about it, I think of $5. $5 can be written like that, or $5 can be written with a 5 and then a decimal 00. Those equal the exact same thing. So behind this whole number, there's actually a decimal. So the first rule that you have to remember is when you add or subtract decimals, you have to line up the dots. Now, the other trick really comes into play with these negative numbers more so. Whenever you are subtracting, the one with the higher absolute value needs to go on top. So I'm going to put 5,300 decimal on top. Then underneath that, I'm going to put the 12.97. Now remember, it's really important to line up the dots, which is why I have it lined up here. Now I can't take away 9 from nothing, so I put in my placeholder zeros. Now I can start my subtraction problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do my borrowing. And then I always look back at my answer to see should my answer be positive or negative. I'm going to keep the sign of the higher number, so my answer should be positive. And there it is. Remember, you've got to make sure that you always line up the dot when you add and subtract, and the one with the higher absolute value needs to go on top for you to do your subtraction.